do things that are really, really fascinating, but that will never actually get him a job. And for example, at university, he chose to study literature. And not because he loved literature so much, but there were more girls in there than in physics, which was his second choice. Roy is a content marketer and a growth expert that helps startups to grow and is currently in the midst of building 2 companies. He's an avid blogger who has contributed and has been mentioned on sites such as time.com, the next web, Fast Company, Forbes and more. And he's mentored some of the biggest accelerators and hubs, including Google, European Pioneers, Techstars and more. He's also an international keynote speaker, so please make him feel very welcome.
Can you hear me? Can anyone not hear me? What was that? So I'm a show and tell kind of guy. So my first failure is that I broke my glasses last night. So if you don't recognize me from the picture, it's that. So when Liora called me and said, well, actually texted me on Facebook and said, will you be willing to do a talk for us? I didn't know what we were talking about. I said, yeah, but like my talks are usually about 2 hours long. Is that okay? And she said, no, it's a bit long. This is for fuck up nights. So I'm gonna need 4 hours for that. So it took me a long while to understand. Wait, let's get this out. So it took me a long while to decide what to talk about today. I still haven't fully decided, even though I have a presentation for it. So my first tactic was this. Every time I need to know what I'm going to talk about, I want to see what the audience wants to talk about, I post it to Facebook. And I just ask, hey, I'm doing this talk about this and this. What would you like to talk about? And I got nothing, right? I texted my family WhatsApp group. Hey, I have to talk about my failures. What do you think I should talk about? I'm still getting texts for that. So, like a week later. So, basically because this is all about fuck ups, so I'm going to say this, that failure is the best thing that can ever happen to you, right? So, because this is kind of a tech-oriented event, so I have to quote Steve Jobs, right? So, death is very likely the best single invention of life. It's life change agent, which is very dramatic, and I wanted to kind of tone this down a bit. So, failure is very likely a pretty decent invention of life. It's life change agent, right? So this is like the toned down version of this. Now, I don't see failure as the end of something as much as really the invitation to do something else. So I want to do like a quick run through of the things that I've failed massively, right? In the last, I want to say 9 years, but this can actually make 30 days. But I think it's like 9 years. So when I was about 17, 18 years old, I was a failed musician, which actually got me to go and study psychology and sociology instead of going to learn music, because I was a failing musician, which actually made me miss music, because that's where I come from. So the next thing I did was to start up a record label as an entrepreneur, right? That's what you do. You miss something, you start a venture for it, which made me actually start doing marketing and social. I did the first Israeli social media campaign back in 2007. We had MySpace, right? How many of you remember MySpace? Oh my God. This is how many people here are over 30. Amazing. So that actually made me start doing marketing and closer. So this actually got me started doing marketing and social media. The record label failed, obviously. And it got me started doing consultancy for musicians on how to brand themselves, market themselves in social media, etc. Which actually also got me blogging. This actually got me to sell my blog later on and join a company called Caseta, which is like a booking and digital marketing agency for musicians. That partnership, by the way, failed miserably as well, which actually drove me to understanding that I hate working with musicians after a while. We were working with some big-time musicians, and I was suffering at every moment of it. And then what happened is that one of my clients, who was a musician, his father had a startup, and he said, "Hey Roy, would you like to come in and do whatever you're doing for the musicians before a startup?" This is like 2009. And I said, "No, I don't really care about that." And he said, "Listen, just come in, speak with my father, he's a cool guy." And I said, "Okay, fuck it." So I came into the office and I spoke with him, and he was talking. I didn't even care, right? I didn't want the job. So at the end, when he asked me, "How much would you like to come for just to come in for 2 days a week?" and I didn't want the job, so I said like a ridiculous number, right? I come from the music world. Nobody has money. So so I just said a ridiculous number, and he's like, okay, no problem. And I was like, wait, what? There's money in this shit. I want to do this for. So that's actually how I started working with startups. I wish it was more heroic, but that was the thing. And that's actually what led me to doing growth hacking, what is known today as growth hacking, and eventually this talk, which leaves us only with one question, which is, what will I fail at next, right? So I have an answer for this, right? So, yeah, okay. So I want to talk a little bit about how I'm fucking up my personal brand by scaling up my business. Okay, no, I think the next one is like 10 minutes from now. So, basically, up until about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, I was consulting for startups, meaning that I work with startups one-on-one. I wrote my own blog post. I'm a contributor to some of the biggest marketing blogs in the world, some of the biggest tech blogs in the world. Every client, well, almost every client that I have, because it's a Facebook client right now, so I don't want to get those comments. So almost every client that I have was super happy about the work we've done together, right? So I still believe that if you put me in the same room with a startup for 1 month, I'm gonna scale like the number of users up in 1 month. Crazy, right? But then about a year and a half ago, we were expecting or about to expect our first daughter, and I thought that I need to scale up my business. Basically, when you consult, right? So if you're sick or dead, you're not making money. This is like, it's a simple metric. If you're not there to do the work, you don't earn any money. Meaning that you have to work a lot of hours in order to make a lot of money, which is a bad equation to have in general. So I decided it's time to scale up my business from being a consultant to being a full-time grown-up agency. Startups were asking for more of like the hands-on work, etc. And I said, okay, it's time to try. And in my vision, I was thinking I'm going to bring in the first employee, right? It's going to take some like a month or two. They're going to get it, and I'm going to free up some of my time. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the second employee, the third employee. So that was a lie. I brought in the first employee. I started working double time because now I was actually doing my work and the work I believe I was giving to my employee at the time. Because it uncovered something that was rooted deep in me. I'm a horrible manager. Right? I used to be the kind of guys, the kind of bosses who would say like, hey, let's do this and this and this. Person in your first day of job, good luck with that, and go away. And then come back again and understand that nothing was done. And then panic at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. So that didn't went well. And I found myself working till 3, 4 a.m. every day. I still do, by the way. Like, this is not kind of a failure I learned from, now I'm good. I'm still failing at that. So, but what happens is when you bring more people to work for your brand name, which actually, again, my brand name is my name, Rועי, which is kind of ridiculous when you think about it. The people are sending emails from like, Danny at RoiPovarczyk.com, or where do you work? I work at RoiPovarczyk.com. When you go and do talks and people ask you to describe what you do, and have to be like the founder of RoiPovarczyk.com, which kind of sound unemployed, right? So I started lying about this. So if you ask me who the founders are, I would say my parents, because genetically that's true, actually, right? So, and if you ask me like, well, then the CEO is obviously my wife, it's not me. So basically that's how I'm scaling up my company. So the thing is that once you start bringing in people in, and you actually have to take care of them, you don't actually do your work anymore. You have to take care of other people who are doing your work for you. Which again, my dream was, hey, do this, run away, everything will work out. It doesn't work that way. So basically what happened is that they were doing the work for me. Some of the work was getting out. And the results were bad. And they were taking out a lot of my time. I still do. And they were taking a lot of my time. Now, my entire career was built on the fact that I'm an amazing blogger, right? I'm horrible at other things, but I'm an amazing blogger, right? And I know how to scale up companies. But now my team was in charge of it, and they were not doing as good as I was, which basically means that if a month before that time, everybody would say, yeah, Rועי is amazing, he does an amazing job, it kind of turned out to be, well, the agency kind of sucks. Like, I used to work with Rועי, he was amazing. I'm working with his agency now, not that good. Now, because I was working for so many hours with them, then I stopped blogging, I didn't actually have time to do the things that scaled me up or build my brand. And then as time went by and I got more people to work with me, I was more and more busy about managing them. That's amazing. I want that sign on my house. So basically what was happening was that the work was not as good. I didn't have time to actually do the things that built me as a brand, right? So 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, I don't know, till now, time has passed. And my employees are amazing now, but suddenly I realized that everybody knows me for blogging and I haven't written a blog post in like 6 months, right? Or that everybody knows me as a contributor like to the next web and buffer, etc. But I haven't written any of those places for 1 month, for like 1 year. So what happens is that by trying to build up a better brand, right, and scaling it up so I can work with more companies, that process was very slow, and my personal brand was becoming shittier and shittier all the time. Now, you have to make a choice, because you can do two things. You can say, wait, this is not working out, let's throw it aside. And I could have easily added it, right, to the flow, to the chart flow we had before, with the fitting stuff. So, and the second part was, I have to be better at actually managing my team, which made me think about these things. That basically, as you grow, or as you try to scale up, you have to do a few things really, really well. And I think this is kind of like people already said that before. But first of all, you have to learn to really prioritize. And prioritization doesn't just mean like saying yes to one thing and saying like yes to one thing and no to 1,000 things. You probably read on Inc.com right now. It's about prioritizing. Anyway, it's about choosing the right things to do, but it's also about what to focus on with your team, where you should kind of debate them and where you should just let them be, do whatever you want to do. You have to kind of choose your battles better between like what are you doing for clients, what you don't do for clients, and the expectations that you have from other people, and where do you spend your time. Still not amazing at this, but I'm getting there. The next thing that I understood is that you have to keep your brand really safe. Because even if I decide tomorrow to lock down an agency, which is doing really well right now, then it's still my brand name that's out there, right? So you have to make sure that once you're scaling up your company, it doesn't matter what company you're at, you have to make sure that the culture or the atmosphere or the brand that you built for yourself is being kept, right? That it's still good. So for a while, I didn't care. I was like, okay, but I'm working with my team, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And after about a few months that I was really detached from the outside world because I was working inwards with my team, somebody asked me the hardest thing you can ask me, like the harshest thing you can ask me, hey, I haven't seen your post for a while, where did you go? Which for me was like a disaster because that's mostly what I've done before. So you have to keep your brand safe, and you have to keep time for this, and you have to keep attention for this. Next thing is you have to keep yourself safe, right? I'm horrible at that. As you scale up, you have more work, you work more hours, you're more stressed. If you used to provide for one family, you're now providing for the amount of families you have as workers, right, or as employees in your team. So you get stressed out, you get burned out, you just want to die half the time. How many of you have employees? Raise your hands. Okay. So you get me. I brought you some more. Anyway, so basically you have to keep yourself safe as well emotionally, because if not, you're going to drive really fast. And you have to find great people to have around you. Now, if you ask me today what's more important, skills or personality, personality is more important than skills. Anything can be taught, but being like an awesome person or being someone who's really smart, you can't fix that. Right? I can have the best SEO guy, the best PPC guy, the best content marketer, whatever. If the people suck, or they're lazy, or they're stupid, or whatever, then you're never going to get it right. You have to surround yourself with really good people. And this day, for example, I would prefer getting someone who's never done the job before, but is amazing as a person, right? I would want to have like thousands of calls in my company. That's what I would want to have, more than anything else. So what I've learned from this is that people, skills, and being like an awesome person beats what you've learned before. So I only have 12 seconds. This is the last slide. Don't go with it. One slide. So for me, failure is not succeeding in something and also not learning from it. That's failure to me, right? You always fail, you always proceed, you always evolve. unless you don't learn from it and then you do the same mistakes over and over again, and that's failure. But the second thing is quitting, because quitting is for losers, right? So thank you so much.
Thank you, Roy. Questions? Up the back.
What's your favorite book and why?
What is your favorite book and why?
Favorite book or blog?
Book.
Book. Oh. That's hard. Dr. Seuss doesn't count anymore. No. I'm gonna have to say I think it's either 4 Hours Work Week by Tim Ferriss right now, or Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. That's weird, I know. But that's one of the two. The book that I gift the most is Tim Ferriss.
Thank you. Other questions? After that.
What is the secret for a great vlog?
What is the secret to a great blog?
We're gonna need 20 minutes for this. Do we have to come? So the secret for a great blog is be super amazingly valuable, but really valuable. Not like valuable, I've been lazy and this is the best I can do. Be valuable and understanding that every post you put out is competing with every other 40, I think, thousand or millions of posts that are being released at the same moment around the world. Like nobody really gives a shit about you, not you, everybody. So you have to put your best work out there always, and you're always competing. Like now that is like the internet, which is cool. So you're competing with everybody who has internet access. You have to put out the best, most valuable content for your readers. Okay, that's it.
Thank you. We've got time for one more.
I didn't hear anything.
So the first question was, we might do one by one. What is the advice you find yourself most commonly giving to startups?
Shut down now and run for your life. Interview your users as much as possible. That's the first thing. Second.
I think that was real hot, and thank you for coming.
Well, that's the best answer.